Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sugaray Raper, and we are live at the Suga Shack.
What up, everybody? This is your main man, Sugaray Raper. How y'all doing? Let me first start the day off by saying thank you to all you beautiful people for wishing a brother a happy birthday. Yes, I am a Valentine's baby, some people say. February the 13th. I was overwhelmed. I'm always overwhelmed by the outpouring of love. You people on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and people that direct message me and people that text me and called me. And I had a good birthday. It was very uneventful. It was relaxing. As my friend Drake always says, another yearly delineation around the sun. He's smart. Yeah, he got all that education and all that good stuff. Hey, I'm Sugaray. I want to give a shout out to my management, apropos management, Miss Stephanie Gonzalez. I love her. I want to say happy Valentine's Day to all the beautiful people out there in the world. Big thank you out to the Mint, Jesse Rossoff, my brother, Mr. Martinez, all you guys, to my man Scully at ATC Booking Agency in Europe, and to Eric Korn from 40 Below Records. The album is doing great. I think we're right at 90,000 daily listeners over at Spotify. That is really cool. And why am I hearing weird noises? Is that Del Toro Richardson is making noises in the background? That is Del Toro. Let me mute him for a second. Yeah, and so we're doing our thing. Today, my guest is Mr. Jonn Del Toro Richardson. JR, my man JR in the house. What's going on, Mr. Bill Brackett? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Let me throw some of these up there. Julie Richardson. Hey, baby. Happy Valentine's Day, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Eric Sassaman, my brother, as always, he's backstage, the Wizard of Oz. I wouldn't like to try to do it without him, because Lord knows. I mean, we was on the phone last night, because I call him up for 5 minutes, and I'm always on the phone with him for like 2 hours. I like talking to the cat. Big Red, what's going on? I appreciate the wishes, Big Red, and I love that thing about Monsieur Grand Homie. Robin Capsalis, how you doing, young lady? How's the day going on? Hope you're doing good. And happy Valentine's Day to you. Barbara Ryan, you sexy 38, 24, 44 woman. You 5'2". You know how I like it, baby. I like it when you're coming to me, but I love it when you turn and walk away. Chris Cook, I miss you, baby. Sent you happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope it was good. Hope things are going good for you and getting worked out. Barbara Caden, thank you, mama. All my people out there in Sacramento, I love the love that you guys gave me. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Plus, Barbara is built like a 1969 Cadillac, baby. Fleetwood Brougham. You know, I like that. Got that kind of thing. You got to take 2 trips. The booty, yeah, take 2 trips to come back and get that. That's a good thing, baby. But again, that's why brothers drive Cadillacs and not Prius, because you can't get all that in that Prius. But that's my way of saying things. Thank you very much. It's kind of windy out here. The Anthony Pauley Orchestra, my man Anthony Pauley, he'll be on the show next week. That should be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of the people that are been nominated. We're gonna get some of them on here, y'all. To all my people over there on the YouTube that are watching, you know we love you. Thank you, Eric, for putting that all my YouTubers. We love you guys. Things are going good. Hey, the question of the day is, how did you spend Valentine's Day? Whether you spent Valentine's Day for yourself or with someone else, I just want to know, did you do anything special? I'm just being nosy today. Nothing too deep, just me being nosy. What was your Valentine's Day like, and did you enjoy it? I enjoyed it because Pam came home and I got her flowers and some candies and all that kind of stuff. And then I pulled out the duct tape and baby oil, but that's for a whole nother show. We'll talk about that later. Y'all know I'm very, very fond of duct tape and baby oil. Duct tape and baby oil are very fun. We're very fond of one another. Kimberly Harden, what's going on, baby girl? How are you doing down south? My southern girl, as Franklin Beverly Mays would say. How y'all doing? We got the show coming up March the 4th. At the Mint in Los Angeles, California. You guys come on down, get your tickets, see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Very excited that I had been invited to play at the Nom-Com in Philly, and then was just invited to come down and play South by Southwest. That's pretty cool. Very excited about that. A lot of great things starting out. Freddie Lawson down in San Diego, what's going on? Kimberly, thank you for the love. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a video right here. I want to know how was your Valentine's Day, y'all. Let me know what's going on. Check this out. Here's what I did a few years. Christina Beer, how you doing, mama? Happy Valentine's Day to you. I spent Valentine's Day with my pups. We can't get no better than that. Barbara Keaton, because the pups ain't got nothing but love. My Valentine's Day, what you say? My Valentine's Day wishes from special people. Oh, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Barbara Ryan says, my first Valentine's Day as a married couple did absolutely nothing. Bob worked. I sat in front of the TV, laugh out loud. Barbara, them the best Valentine's days in the world. I mean, some people want to get out and go to dinner and do all that. I mean, it gets corny. Sometimes just spending time. That's what my birthday was. I was just relaxing. Didn't go do anything. Just sit back, relax, enjoy it myself. Eric Sefton said the wife and I had the dog, went shopping at Petco, and had a good time. Laugh out loud. See, that's all those old heads. When you've been married, you've been with someone for a while. You love them to death. You ain't got to be kind of all that craziness. But then again, it depends on the person that you with. Everybody knows who they with. Some people like that pageantry and like to get all crazy. Me, Margie, how you doing, brother? Big thank you to Diddy TV. I love the ad they ran for me, the Love Doctor. Hopefully some of you guys saw that for Valentine's Day. That was pretty freaking cool. The Love Doctor. I can't believe that. All right, check this out. I recorded this some years ago in France with a French Zydeco band that used to back me up. The name of the band is Flying Saucers Gumbo Special. And I really love this. And, don't that many people play this song out. But check this one out. See if you can dig this. This is a Swamp It Up, baby. Come on. Let's get it on.
I saw your daughter just a moment ago with a big bag of blunts and a quarter of blow. She was going down fast and I was coming up slow with a big sack of blunts and a quarter of blow. I said, yeah. You better pray for your daughter, mama. Pray for your daughter, mama. Your daughter's out of order, mama. You better pray for your daughter, mama. Pray for your daughter, mama. Your daughter's out of order. I saw your daughter just a moment ago. She was messing on the job, trying to get her some blow. Oh, she was going down there.
That's right, Frederick Lawson. Every day is Valentine's Day, brother.
Messing on the job, trying to get her some below. I told that woman, yeah.
You better pray for your daughter, mama.
Your daughter's out of order, mama. You gotta pray for your daughter, mama.
Marty, happy Valentine's Day. Love you, baby. Hope everything's going good. And I saw that you was in the hospital. We're praying for you.
That's right. Oh, Lord, Lord. I'm trying to tell you, babe.
That's right, Bill. That's Rick. Sean Adam Williams. What up now? Thank you, Barbara Ryan. You just saw the picture with me in the bathtub naked. That's a cool shot they put on there.
You gotta pray for your daughter, mama. Your daughter's out of order, mama. I saw your daughter a little while ago trying to get her some below. Now listen, I was coming up fast, she was going down slow. Turning tricks on the job, trying to get her some below. That's the same. But listen, girl.
All right, I want to see pictures, Julia. I want to see pictures. I still can do it. I can still do it. You gotta pray for your daughter, mama.
Your daughter's out on her mama. Come on, fellas. Pray for your daughter, mama. Your daughter's out on her mama. You gotta pray. You gotta pray for your daughter. You gotta pray. You gotta pray for your daughter. Pray, children.
We said warm bill back then. We more than we.
I'm down on bended knee. Yeah. Pray.
Lawrence. Les bonnes têtes roulées. I love those guys. When I first started going to Europe, they were the band that backed me up for years. You know, when you first start traveling, when you first start out in this business, nobody wanted to pay to bring a 7-piece band. And so the first 4 years, I think it was, that I went to Europe and toured, it was just myself. And at that time, I was with a group called On the Road Booking with Aurelie Roquet. And my main man, you know, they Fabio and those guys, they just they learned all my material, and those guys played with me all over the Europe. I mean, from Lithuania to France to Poland to Norway to Spain to Germany to Belgium, and we played together for 4 years. They were my European band, and some years back, I went back and recorded that album with them. I was hoarse as all I get out. Seems like I'm always hoarse when I do an album, but whatever. They were just the greatest guys. So Cedric, Fabrice, Fabio, Professor, and my mind just went blank for my drummer friend. And but you know, the Flying Saucers Gumbo Special. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Right on. I also want to give a big shout out to the Blues Foundation. They gave a brother 3 nominations. Can y'all believe that? It's Eric is saying, oops, Facebook, stop your broadcast. You can learn more about it. There's TOS here. I don't know what that means. So Eric Sassman, if you can hear me, just double check, make sure we're not stopped on Facebook. All right. All right. I don't know why they keep putting that up there. They just like messing with me. I wanted 3 Blues Music Awards. The BB King Entertainer of the Year, which I am the BB King Entertainer of the Year for the year 2020. I think we were nominated for Band of the Year. I want to say thank you guys for that. That is amazing because the guys work hard, and it is cool that that you guys felt like giving them the love. I appreciate that from the bottom of my soul. Holland is in the house. Germany is in the house. Spain is in the house. Wales is in the house. Connecticut is in the house. Massachusetts is in the house. Los Angeles is in the house. San Diego in the house. There's a lot of people in the house. So thank you. We ask that you guys will go and vote for us. And what is the other one? I think I'm for instrumental vocalist. So I'm very honored. I'm humbled as always. It's always a blessing to be recognized, especially during this crazy time. Scotland's in the house. I got an interview coming up with a great Scottish podcast team here in a couple of days. So check that out, Nicole Mother. Today, my guest is going to be Mr. Jonn Richardson, my main man. Thank you, Jan. And they just like messing with me. I think they put that up there just to hear me say their name. Facebook, that is. Matter of fact, I want to Playboy by Jonn. He's backstage chilling down in Texas. He's in the dark, though. I'm going to have to get some light on his face. That picture I see in the background right now, he like the witness protection program. Oh, there he is. Yeah. He got the pompadour going too. Y'all got to wait to see this. I'm gonna put him up in a minute. But before I do that, I want to play one by him. And the question of the day is, how did you spend your Valentine's Day? How was it? Did you do anything special, or you like me, when you've been together with someone for a long time, you just enjoyed each other's company? Can you dig it? What they say, Facebook is running just fine, except that the only comments that show up for me are my own. I won't even be seeing what the Wizard of Oz puts up for us. Wonder why is that? That's weird. Sorry, Big Red. Big Red out in Milwaukee. I don't know what that's very weird. You know what, Red? I would say close down your system and bring it back up and see if that changes it. But Facebook has been really weird over the last 6 months. But that's not us. Canada now, Christina Beer. What part of Canada are you in, Mama? What is this random YouTube watcher? When is the new album going to have all the songs released? The new album, my new album, In Too Deep, comes out March the 4th. I got a couple test pressings of it, and it looks just like that. Let me put back. Comes out March the 4th. In Too Deep, March the 4th. It's a pretty cool album. March the 4th. The 4th of March. Y'all be able to get your copy. Right on. Here, I want to play about one by my buddy, my guest. And it's funny because I'm gonna talk to him about this in a minute. I mean, I think we wound up talking for like an hour last night. He and I, we were chewing the cud and chewing the fat. Y'all don't know what cud is, do you? Y'all don't know what cud is. Y'all all city folks. That's when, you ever see your cow chewing? Just chewing? It's chewing the cud. But I have to teach y'all something about that. You young people from the city. Y'all city folk. Somebody says, I love the blues and your style. Who is this random YouTube watcher? Put your name up there, baby. Don't be scared. Here's one by Del Toro Richardson. Let me see. I got a few by him up here. Which ones do I want to play? One of them I got up here twice for some reason. It looked the same, but I'm going to play this one right now. Check this out. Del Toro, my brother, Richardson. And let me get up a few more messages here, and we're going to get that stutter right up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Facebook, a.k.a. Strange Book. I hear Fred. Big Red says, better. Thanks for the advice. I'm sorry. Let's see if that works. Here we go, y'all. Check my brother out. This is a bad mother. And we both from Texas. You can't get no better than that.
It'll be an instrumental. It's the title cut off the CD. And I hope you enjoy this one. It's a little mellow.
Wolfgang. Oh, thank you, Wolfgang. Thank you. You're always such a nice gentleman. Thank you, sir. Hey, Danny, you see that? Mr. Richardson? John, did you see that? All right. I got you muted, but I'll unmute you in just a minute. Matter of fact, I'm going to bring him on screen right now while we're playing his music. Why not? John, put your headphones on. You're making a lot of noise.
Huh? I got them
Put
on,
your headphones
man.
on. You're making all kind of noises. Everybody, that's Jonn Del Toro Richardson there in the darkness.
The Phantom.
The Phantom. Man, I'm really digging this sound. This one of your originals?
Yeah, it's an original.
What's the name of this one?
Tango Blues, which means
Tango Blues.
I have blues.
Is this on the album somewhere?
Yeah, that's the hit. It's the title cut of the last CD.
All right, I'm gonna shut up so we can listen to it. Hey, John, my producer was asking, what is that guitar?
It's a Fano PX6. It was commissioned. I commissioned Dennis Fano to build that.
All right, wait a minute. We're going to wait till the video's over, then we'll get into it, okay?
Okay.
Can't see it, but the producer's back. You know what? He's backstage jamming. Look at that head. Thank you, Julie. You're such a sweetheart. Roger, I have no idea, but you know what? Send a message on my artist page on Facebook, put that on there, and Danny will see it, and maybe he'll answer. Oh, thank you, Nicole Mullen. You sweetheart, you. Thanks, Tank. I like that, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow, man, I like that, brother. That was what you call très cool. I could back in when I was younger, I could have had a couple twins with that. That'd be great. How you doing, brother? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jonn Del Toro Richardson. How you like people call you? Is it the whole name, or because I know a lot of Latins and they have that 4-name thing, which I really dig.
Yeah, it's John is fine.
John, all right. Dirty mother,
or Del Toro, or whatever you want to,
Yeah,
as long as you don't call me late,
That's it. I'm gonna start this conversation off with the butterfly effect. All the things that have happened to me of recent, I think the Soul Blues Male Artist, the BB King, signing with 40 Below, Grammy nominations, all that happened because of this man right here, ladies and gentlemen. It happened because of Mr. Jonn Del Toro Richardson. And the story is I came off tour with long tour, went right to Memphis for I think it was the BMA. It might have been the IBCs. John had to tell me because I can't remember. Anyway, he was playing the Orpheum. You had a gig at the Orpheum, and you had invited me down to come in and sit in. And I was like, okay, man, cool, definitely. Even though I was exhausted, Pam was with me. We went and put on the good clothes and everything, and we walked down there. And by the time I got down there, I was so tired. I was already tired before I got there. I was so tired of standing on the corner of the Orpheum. It sounded like a blues song, but this is the God of the truth. I'm standing on the corner of the Orpheum Theater, fully dressed to the nines. Pam dressed to the nines, and I'm too tired to go in. And at that moment, Rick Booth walks up to me. Bruce Aguilar is across the street. I think he wanted to come over and talk to me, but literally at that same time, Rick Booth walks up to me and introduced me to Eric Corn, and make it short, the rest is history. But it was all because I was going down to sit in with you, and so it's the butterfly effect, man. That's why you never know. You never know.
I'll make you famous, baby.
Yeah, or infamous.
There you go.
Eric wanted to know because we couldn't hear you over the music, and it was wrong for me to even ask. Eric wanted to know what type of, you mind talking about what type of guitar that was. I usually don't get to the whole technical thing, but we got a few people asking.
Yeah, it's a Fano guitar. So a guy named Dennis Fano, he built that guitar, and I have a charity in Columbus, Ohio called Project Blues, and so we commissioned him to build us a guitar, and he built that one for us. And the charity gave it to me to play, and I started playing. The guitar behind me actually was the one that kind of kicked it off. But we sat down and I told him what kind of pickups I wanted and the radius of the neck and size of everything. And so we kind of just, went from there. And I love that color. It's my favorite color.
What is that color?
They call it, he calls it, oh man, little boy blue or something like that. Some kind of color like that. but it's just a like a light blue, like a sea blue, some kind of it's really cool. I love it. So it's the guitar itself is as soon as I got it, I started playing it like every day, and most of the wear on it is pretty honest. So
so that's not one of those fabricated distress. That's actually just from road wear.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
like
funny
that.
because we were playing somewhere in Poland. I can't remember which festival it was.
Was the Białystok?
Actually, no, it wasn't Poland. It was in Czech Republic. It was at Sumpuk.
Yeah.
Sumpuk.
Something.
Anyway,
Yeah, I got one coming up. I think that is the place. I got it coming up.
It's a great festival. It's a great festival,
cool.
and I love that one. And I came off the stage, and so Lenny Paul, that was with me on bass, he's sitting there laughing at me because I'm trying to find a place to put my guitar, right? And there's no place to put my guitar, where the only place I could is so it wouldn't fall over, is I put it in a garbage can. I just use the garbage can to hold it, but that's the only place I could find. So, I tell people they can't do anything that I'm not going to do to that guitar. So it's unless I would never run over it or cut it in half or anything, but
thank God.
Wants to borrow it and play it. Some guys are really weird about letting people borrow their guitars, but
believe me, I know some guitarists that I know in LA. Of course, though, that even their reissues are like $10,000 reissues. And there was a story with me and Chuck and Slash, and Chuck and Slash are really good friends. And Chuck was my MD at the time, and as we would say, he would bring down the forest. He'd bring, and a lot of them would be reissues, but we took it about again. Even his reissues were like $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 reissues. And Slash is kind of like me. He had got on all the chains, he had on all this rings, everything, and he had this weird buckle. And I remember Chuck giving Slash chewing on him and giving him a hard time about some scratch. And I'm looking at the guitar, I can't see the scratch. I'm looking, and I don't, and then I'm just like, okay, why are you bringing him down? But Chuck is also the type of guy that. He just moved to Nashville. Then I just closed down his studio. He used to own the old Pac West studios. He just moved there. He just opened a new studio. He had a vault built in the studio. He had millions of dollars worth of guitars. He had a vault built that was humidified to the right temperature. Everything was in there, special cases. Every guitar, when you opened up the guitar, there was a what do you call them? A chamois in each guitar case. Each case had its own chamois. In between songs, we used to be, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't use him as the MD anymore. Hell of a producer, hell of a guitarist. They call him the Slide God, old Slide Away Studios. In between each song, Chuck changed guitars. The problem is it's taking 5-10 minutes because he literally wiped every guitar totally down before he put it back in the case and pull out. I used to be like, Jesus Christ, come on, man. And so it's good to see, Gino, my old guitarist, Gino Mateo is that way. Gino, he's like, I love the guitars. He's got a couple cents of the guitar, but they're made to be played. They're not made to be babied. Well,
funny you say that because me and Gina, I don't know where we were at. We were in Poland somewhere. We were in Poland, or where were we? We were doing a festival together.
Was I there too?
Yeah, you were there too, and you called me out.
Was that Białystok? I'm telling you that I played quite a few one, but I played that Białystok like 3 times. That's a big festival.
I can't remember. It must have been that one. It was one. We were on the bill together, and you called me to come back out and play. And so I came out with you, and so me and Gino were just having fun. And I'm, when I get on stage, I'm kind of, I don't care. It's just here we go. And so me and Gino we're playing, trading off stuff, and then you were coming to the finale, and I was trying to get Gino to throw me his guitar, and I was going to throw him my guitar in the air.
God.
And I took my guitar off, and I was about to throw it to him. He was like, no.
Oh, did he freak out?
He freaked out on me, man. I was like, dude, come on.
he probably worried that he wouldn't catch it.
Well, that's what he said. He goes, I was worried I was going to lose. I wasn't going to catch your guitar. And I was like, hell no.
Well, that type of, that's pretty rare because a lot of the guitarists, but they get really what I'm trying to say. They get really protective of the guitar. So it's cool to see guitars that.
Particular and particular. Yeah,
Go ahead.
There's some guitars that are that way, but I mean, not that one. I call that one my war club because it's like there ain't nothing I can do to it that it's gonna harm it, So
Gotcha.
And nobody else, So it's my shovel, I dig grooves with it.
Yeah, I can dig that. Yeah. It's got a beautiful sound. I love the sound of it. What let's do it. Let me ask you a couple random technical questions for the guitar geeks out there, and then we'll move on to other stuff because I don't normally do this. But what strings, what weight of strings do you use? People ask that stuff. They want to know that. They want to know what kind of pedals gauge, and what type of amp you like to play.
What gauge strings? I honestly this year I had to just a few months ago I had to change string gauges. I was in an accident and I injured my left shoulder, which is causing hand problems. So
man, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we're dealing with it. So I had to go down a gauge, but I just changed out the middle too. So I use 11 through 54s, and it used to be in the middle on the D and the G. The D used to be a 32, which I've gone down to a 30, and the G string used to be a 20 plain, which I've gone down to a 18. So, but everything else is the same. So, but it's 11 through 54s, which is pretty. It gives back. I like the tension that it gives me, and it's just a nice tension. So, I'm getting my hamstrings back, so I might go back to the other ones.
So was it just trying to put the pressure on those heavier gauge strings, or are those heavier or lighter?
The strings that I was using were heavier, and so it was kind of the pressure thing. So like when I would do a bend or shake or something, like do some bends, I was losing grip on the string on the heavier gauge one, so I had to go down lighter. But I'm building myself back up, and so now the lighter ones kind of feel a little too light. So I might go back to my other ones, but I kind of like the lighter ones because I can kind of, do the whittly wanky stuff. It makes it a lot easier.
You sound like my buddy Walter Trout there. When I'm singing with Walter, he's like, "Well, Ray, you're a hell of a singer. You sing that part, and then I'm gonna wiggle my fingers for my part, and then we're done." I'm like, "Okay, all right. Just wiggle your fingers, and that's Walter said.
Yes, that's all we're doing.
I'm gonna wiggle my fingers." We want to say hello to Pablo from Argentina. We haven't got many guests coming in from Argentina, so Argentina in the house, y'all.
Wow, nice.
Pablo. Yeah, Argentina. We got everybody else. Argentina, there's Wales, there's Spain, there's France, there's Canada, there's India, there's people from all over the world.
Fantastic.
Right on. So
hey, I'm gonna change headphones real quick, man. I use my earbuds.
Okay, go ahead.
And they're not doing so well.
Okay, all right. We got time. And let me also say, I'll wait till he get his ears back on.
All right, you got me?
Gotcha, man. Got your bowls on now. 222. 22. You got us? Check one.
How about now?
Check one.
I got you.
I
I
can hear you. You put your Bose headphones on there?
Well, I had my Bose earbuds on, and it's those weren't working.
I can dig. It's modern technology, man. Modern technology. Last technical question: are you a big pedal guy, or are you not? What is your rig for touring? If you don't mind.
No, as long as I have reverb and tremolo, that's all I use. I just turn the amp up to where I like it to be, and then work everything off of the guitar. I'm kind of old school that way, and I just as long as if I'm on the road, I do have a pedal board right now. The pedal board only has a Flint Strymon, which is a reverb and tremolo pedal, and then it has a tuner, and it has for whenever I play, I do have this one Stratocaster that I play every now and then. That actually I'm starting to play a lot more right now. That it's weaker in volume than my Fano. So whenever I plug in that one, I will have to hit the boost. It's just a clean boost thing on it. So it just raises the volume about 20% or so or more. Just kind of gets it into a level where I'm not having to go back to the amp and turn it up and change my settings on my amplifier between the guitars. So I just have that one. Yeah. So I'm pretty much a straight ahead guy.
That's that old Albert King tuning, isn't it? Isn't that what Albert King used to do?
That's it. Yeah, just plug in and play. And I've learned. I learned that. It's funny. I was on tour with Otis when I used to work with Otis Taylor, and
oh man, I love Otis Taylor, man.
Yeah, and we were the first tour we ever did. We were in England, and they had two amplifiers. One was this crate, and it was a tube amp. It was a crate amp, and the other one was a Marshall, but it was a Marshall acoustic amp. And he goes, I'm going to take the tube one. I want the tube amp. So, okay. And so I let him have it, and I went and took the other amp. I set it up, plugged in, and he looked at me and goes, I want that amp. I was like, okay. So we swapped amps, and I, set the amp up and started playing that one. He goes, well, let me play that. So, so I wound up playing the Marshall, which was fine with me. I don't, you can pretty much find whatever you need and whatever, you just kind of have to work with it.
Well, I think that comes with experience. When you've been out on the road, and you know how it goes, especially us when you first starting out. And I'm still once in a blue moon, I still have to battle with gear, but I've gotten to a point where usually whatever's on my rider, they kind of have it there. But I used to tell that I got to give that to Gino. I got to give that to the guys that have played with me in the past. I mean, Chuck was weird because Chuck was just a freak, so it didn't matter where we played. He put it. He was old school, so he put it in his flight case. He bring his amp. It didn't matter. Yeah. I was like, Jesus. I was like, he paid for it. Like I'm on my, some guys are that way.
Yeah.
He paying. I ain't paying for it. He gonna pay for it. Like,
well, I have an endorsement with Category 5 amps. I was their guinea pig.
Right on.
When the amp company, when Don for the amps, stuff like that, I was the guinea pig. I was the first guy to take the amps and take them on and play them. So I remember being backstage, at gigs, have the amp opened up, and I'm on the phone with Don saying, "Man, this thing's not working. How can I get it?" He's walking me through it, and I'm over here, and I got Diuna behind me, and she's, "You better. Where's your twin? Where's your deluxe reverb? That Fender always works."
That sounds like Diuna too.
Your Fender always works. How come you're not using that no more? But as Don, as the company came along and things got, like I said, I was a guinea pig. Things started working out, and they sound great. And that's what I use now is the Category 5 amps. So
no, we had somebody, Nicole Mullen, from I think Nicole is in Spain. And Nicole, if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. She wanted to know, how did you get started with the blues?
Well, my first love of music is country and western. I'm a big country western fan, and I grew up in a musical family. So every Sunday was getting over to grandma's house, and my grandmother lived in an area of town where it was mostly Hispanic and black, and so her house, literally, the fence was like on the other side were what they called the project homes, and there was always some guys when I was a kid playing blues. They would be out on the porch on Sunday doing the same thing, drinking beer, playing guitars. And so I was probably about 7, 8 years old, and I'd hear this, and I'm like, oh man, this is really cool stuff. I didn't know what it was, because on the front porch of my grandparents' house, they're playing mariachi music because they were musicians as well, and my uncles are always doing other stuff too. Thank you. How you doing? Deanna? And can't wait to get back to Calgary. But that's how I got
that's
started.
A cool one.
Yeah, it's great. I love that festival. So anyway,
that's how you got started. Just hearing these cats play going over to your yeah.
My grandmother's house. I'd hear that stuff.
And did you sit in with those? Did you sit in with those cats, or did you
Oh
just?
no, man! They made fun of me, because I'm a little. They would call me names. I'm not going to say what they would call me.
Don't feel bad because they do. That's the way brothers are. Cause they would do that to me
know,
too. That's the same way they did to me. Yeah.
And so what I started doing, because I knew what time they would start playing, they would start playing kind of in the evening, after they've been drinking a little bit all day and eating and whatnot. And same thing we were doing, but we were playing mariachi music. My aunts and uncles, they and my grandmother doing mariachi in the front porch.
Which let me jump in there real fast, which is so weird because I'm from Texas, born and raised. I didn't hear very much mariachi. A lot of country western and gospel. When I came to California, that's when I was like, man, what is this music? They're like, this is mariachi. And this one place I used to bounce in Vista, California, they would have all these bands come up from Mexico. These 14, 15 piece bands and the Spanish women would come out there dressed to the nines and it was great, man. I loved it. I fell in love with it, but I didn't mean to cut you out, but go ahead.
No, well, you're from North Texas. Where you come from is
East Texas.
It's northeast.
Yeah.
It's north and east.
Yeah.
I'm from southeast Texas.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm closer to the border.
Where about?
I'm from Baytown, Texas, which is not far from Beaumont. It's
Beaumont in the area. Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, it's really weird where I grew up. So we had the swamp pop music. We also had Zydeco. Always had blues. Always had country. And then that's what I was raised around. So that's the kind of music that I was kind of like always saw. And then with my family, they were always playing. Like my uncles were always into, and they were all musicians as well. And they always played. I have one uncle that's a country singer songwriter. His name is Jonn Del Toro. He's in Nashville now, retired. And then my other uncles, my one uncle started. He played. He's the reason I started playing, because he would lock me up in his room playing drums. He was like into like Chicago and Led Zeppelin and
I was about to ask you that. Was it? Did you learn that from your tias? And I can see now you, like you said, you lock you up in the room.
When he was actually playing drums, he put his headphones on, playing with his record player and playing the drums and Santana and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm 3 years old, right? And it's like this loud bomb down, and I'm like, get me out of here! I'm beating on the doors, tell my grandma to let me out of the room, but that's how I got. I did, and so I actually had him playing drums with me for quite a while, and we just kind of had to keep shifting gears, So, but that's how I kind of came into hearing that music and fell in love with it.
She wanted to know because I always forget that. I never want to forget that sometimes we start mentioning certain musics. A lot of people have only been blues or only been rock, and they don't know all this music. So she wanted to know, what is mariachi? Give me the name of a good mariachi band real quick. Can you think of one off the top of your head?
Jeez, man. No.
Or anything. I just want to play. Let me see. Let me.
What's the guy's name the guy that just died? Just died a couple of months ago. Oh man! If she wouldn't have asked me, I could have told you.
I know. I hate when that happens.
Jeez. They're actually getting ready to put out a tribute album for him.
Won't be able to remember the name.
All it is
hold on a second. This is not a big one. This is just some. I'm gonna play this for her. This is just some traditional mariachi. Let me see if I can get this up, and we just play a couple seconds of it. This is for Miss Mullen. Let's see if it will do it. There we go. Check this out now. You want to know what mariachi is, Nicole? This is traditional mariachi. I just want to play a little bit. That's traditional mariachi.
Yeah.
So
and that's kind of on the light. That's on the lighter side, because there's.
That's very light.
Yeah, because they don't have the violins. I grew up with the violins are just amazing, and I have Tanya Richardson. She used to play with Ruthie Foster, and she plays bass with
Okay.
me now, and she plays violin. So I'm happy that she does. So I have her, on a case. Like we'll have about 5 or 6, 7 songs that I tell her to put the bass down. I'll play guitar, play the bass lines, and all that stuff, and sing. And the drummer plays snare and a kick drum, and she's playing the violin. So we can kind of cover some country stuff and some Louisiana stuff and also some Spanish stuff, Mexican stuff.
Well, especially when you start talking about the Louisiana stuff, a lot of people talk about it, but they don't really understand that it's a mixture of Mexican, African, French, and Dutch cultures coming together. That's what Zydeco all is. It's all Canadian, French, Native American, and African music kind of rolled all into one. And that is what Zydeco is.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize what blues is too. I mean blues is African American, and it's also, blues is actually it's actually thank you, Vincent Fernandez. Thank you, Vincent. Yes.
Yeah, Barbara Ryan. She runs the keynote. Barbara knows everything.
Yep, that's the one.
Vincent Fernandez.
Yep,
Vicente Fernandez. Okay.
Vicente.
Okay.
And that's the guy to check out.
Okay.
You got.
Thank you, Barbara.
Blues music is really American music. I mean, and people don't understand that when I say that, and it's because you had the slaves coming together with the other slaves, which were Native Americans, and people don't want to say that. They actually tried to. I don't want to get too political, but they tried to wash away Native Americans completely in the whole American history for certain reasons. But and that's but you can hear it. I mean that.
You don't have to curve yourself, brother. You be yourself. This show is all about opening up. So you say what you feel.
So that's you hear that 2 and 4. That ain't nothing but that's what that is.
Oh yeah.
That's that backbeat. That backbeat that America loves, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then you tie it together with African rhythms that
the polyrhythms and all that stuff they're doing, and that's all that. I try to educate people, and I try to tell them like, original blues music was drum and fife, and people look at me like drum and fife, and I'm like, what is? A lot of people don't know. They're like, well, what is drum and fife? I'm like, well, if you talk about you're a blues historian, if you don't know what drum and fife is, then you're missing what most of the blues is all about.
Yeah. And that was all Native American and African American, African.
Yes, it was.
Slave music coming together. That was coming together. And
I mean, if you go to Indian peon, is it peon? I hope I'm saying it right because I have a lot of Native American friends living in Southern California. And they would have the peon festivals, and they basically were playing drum, but they didn't use the fife so much, but it was just the drums and the chant. It's just like African music. It's just one of those things that they learn. Did I just freeze? I did. I think it's one of those things that they learn. So just like I was telling them about another culture that really helped influence the blues.
I play that. So it's like,
can you play a little bit?
Yeah.
You mind?
No. Get that thing set up right. I love playing that flute.
Thank you, brother. That was beautiful, man.
I love playing that flute, man.
That was beautiful. Big Red was just saying, that's what I was just about to say before he picked up that beautiful flute. Another culture that is a lot of time hidden from the blues for some reason is the Irish, because the Irish were like they were pretty much the white black,
Yeah,
they were
the slaves.
They were the ones that we call even America, down south, they were the hillbillies, They were the hillbillies, and everybody always asking, like, we get into this thing. I've gotten into it with some historians before. They get to talking about, because they, they've read, but this is stuff that I lived. And they asked about slide guitar, and you have all these theories. And I always tell people, slide guitar came from African slaves listening to Irish folk music, because they were there. They brought their music, and they always played fiddles and guitar. But black people couldn't afford the guitars and fiddles. They never really learned how to play it, but they loved that sound. And in true black form, some black man, whoever it was, doing the blues, figured out how to get the guitar to come real close to that sound that fiddle made. And that is where slide guitar come from. I mean, that is a full-on Irish immigrant instrument trying to be imitated by the guitar by black folks. And, right. I mean, this history is so deep that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
A lot of people don't realize that the banjo was an African instrument. That was an African instrument that came over here, and like you said, that was latched on.
Is it the diddly? They even kept the name, because I think in Africa it's the diddly bow.
No, it's
or something like, not a diddly bow. I forget the name of it. I've seen it. It only has like 3 or 4 strings on it, right?
That one has and it has leather, so it's really interesting. It has leather as frets, so you play it in certain spots.
I've seen them. I just can't remember. I can't remember what the name is.
And you can move the frets, in different spots. And it's a real interesting instrument. I was fortunate when I was working with Otis, I got to play with that. Helped tour that album, recapturing the banjo, and learned a lot. When I was a kid, I fell in love with the banjo.
Yeah.
But nobody was going to let me get a banjo, so I didn't get a banjo. So yeah, diddly bow's a 1 string, but the banjo is actually
people say that
it came from Africa.
Random, as you know, diddly. You know, diddly bow is 1 string, but down south, they transferred it into a bass. But there were people who had 2 strings on their diddly bow. And what you got to understand, it was an instrument they were learned when people didn't know how to play guitar. That's what it was all about. But it's a whole different thing. But go ahead. We lost your vocal, brother. We lost your vocal. There you go. We lost you again. You got a bad connect. You got a bad pot there. Pull it out and stick it back in.
That's what. Okay, is that right?
There we go. Yeah, then we good. Then we good.
Are we good?
We good.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Now I forgot what I was saying, but the banjo.
You were talking about the banjo.
The banjo. And the banjo, the tuning on a banjo was what they used in open tuning on guitars. Okay, so now you hear guitars that are in open tuning, like in G tuning, and most banjos are in G tuning. So that's the tuning that the slaves took over off of the banjo. They put it onto the guitar, and that's where they got that open tuning. So when you hear, let me grab a couple of things, and I'll
go ahead, brother.
Hang on.
Go ahead. Hey, you're listening to my main man, Jonn Del Toro Richardson. This is Sugaray Raver at the Suga Shack. We're doing it up. Giving a big shout out to Eric Sassaman, aka the Wizard of Oz backstage, of course, Eric Korn and all the guys, and all you guys for tuning in today. Come on with your questions.
Okay, so I honestly didn't expect to be doing this, but
well, that's why I said this show is totally different. It's not like, I ain't asking you the same questions. We're gonna have fun.
hang on.
Ukraine in the house. Hey, Ukraine, we praying for you guys. We love you. Oh, no. Yeah, I like that.
Anyway, it's not tuned perfectly, so it's kind of weird. So anyway, that's what they took the tuning from the banjo to fit on that, and then now you got these cigar boxes, that are pretty.
I got one up here that I have for a slide because I don't play guitar, but I've been wanting to learn to do it.
They're a lot of fun, man. So these are Bitter Creek guitars. This one is my friend John Solis, JP Solis. He makes them, and you can, if you want to check out some of his guitars, man, he makes some killer ones. That's a beautiful one too. Look at that.
This one was handmade by a gentleman. I want to say it was in Germany.
I got one that John made for me that has a German-made pickup that he put on there. So it's a really cool. These are just fun. They're fun instruments, and I've written a bunch of songs over COVID on these things. And dude, I've got a pile of songs that I just got to get recorded. And
I really just love the sound of them, man. It takes me home.
Dude, I can just sit here in my office, and I'll be here. If I grab my guitars in the morning, sometimes I won't come out until the sun's going down, and it's not it's not a healthy thing.
Well,
mentally it's healthy sometimes.
It's about to say, it's a way to work off a lot of stress and a lot of
Yeah.
Well, look, let me. I want to play some more music. So don't go anywhere. You stay on the screen. I want to play another one by you, I think, here.
Man, I tell you what, I know you got it all set up, but
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. What you got?
Go find one called The Moment.
The Moment. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Just gonna take me just a minute, and I will find it.
So how was that cigar last night?
Always good, man. I'm trying to cut back. We're about to start touring and stuff, and I've been bad. It also they help me a little bit mentally sometimes. It's I don't have a lot of vices. Cigars and big booty women. Either one of them will get you killed. But
I understand. Trust me.
As far as vices go, that's what it is for me. So
yeah.
There was a couple different ones. I just grabbed this one. I'm gonna throw it up.
Okay.
All right. Let me take this one down, and then I'm gonna grab here, and this is all because Eric Sassman has taught me how to do all this stuff.
Well, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's a good version of it.
I think it will be.
Oh, that's a version of me just by myself.
You want the one with the whole band? We can do the one with the whole band.
Yeah,
all
do
right.
it with the whole band, or play whatever you got. Whatever you had lined up is fine too.
But you wanted to hear that. I mean, it takes us a few seconds.
Well, there's the recorded version is the best version.
I saw that. I'll grab that.
I'll say that because it's got the Texas horns on it, and they're doing there's no guitar. The guitar is just playing rhythmic stuff, and then I had the horns go in there and do their thing, and it's a pretty cool thing. I caught a lot of grief. It's funny, you catch a lot of grief for whatever you want to do outside of a certain genre.
What's considered the norm. Which is sometimes I get worried about the blues because it's like, if you don't, the blues was always about innovation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if people don't allow innovation in the blues, then you're losing a lot, and then
Oh, yeah.
it's supposed to be around for a long time. So
Well, you're supposed to keep things going forward. You know, you're supposed to move
exactly.
things forward. Everything's going to change. Everything's got to move forward. And if you don't, and sometimes you can reach back and pull it forward again. You know, but you know, you got to move forward.
All right, I'm gonna take me off the screen. I'm gonna leave you on the screen, and we're gonna play this one.
Boy, my hair was all black then.
When our eyes first met, I fell in love. Oh, how they sparkle like stars up above. I knew right then and there it all would change. I saw my future in her eyes and love's burning flame. Oh, how I trembled, I could not resist your touch of my body and the taste of us kiss. I knew right then and there it all would change. I saw my future in her eyes and love burning flame.
Loving those horns, dude. You know, I'm a horn.
Oh, man, I'm a horn guy.
Me too, brother.
They're from Texas. Thanks, Bill.
Man, see, I'm digging this. See, I listen to this all damn day, dude.
I know, me too.
John, is this the new album? Is this the new album?
No. That's the. I haven't recorded one since then. So, I've got, like I said, I've written a bunch of songs since COVID, and I'm just sitting on them, and just got to get in the studio and get it done. And I've just got to find the funding of getting it done. You know, get that together. And it takes a lot, and people kind of, you know, it feels weird to kind of go on, do these GoFundMe things and stuff like that, and raise.
You know, I've never done it, and it's not a pride thing. I've been very lucky that people have given.
Yeah.
Like, since I started this show, the whole reason was, everybody was so isolated, and I know so many people, so I wanted to introduce and do this to keep my mentality from going crazy. But the other great thing that's come out of this is I've been able to introduce people like you and a few others that people didn't even know that. You know, a lot of these people, my producer in the background, he didn't even know about these people. And like now he's just like, man, how come I didn't hear about this? And how did I didn't know about that? And I'm like, well, that's why I'm doing this show, because there is a lot of people. There's a lot out there when you start shaking the box, brother.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
No, there's a whole lot. So I, did this album a while back, and it actually won me a Blues Music Award.
Congrats.
And so that was cool. And I just haven't. And that Anson Funderburg, he actually produced it, and we had Kaz Kazanoff on there in his horns. The Texas horns. It was funny because my dad. So I took home the the rough cuts, and I played it for the family and stuff. And my dad goes on that song. He goes, man, that trumpet sounds like Al Gomez. I said, because it is Al Gomez, Dad. He's like, what? Because Al Gomez, he played with everybody. He plays with, and mostly in the Latin community. And so he's a well-known horn player in Texas. Well, around the world, but it's primarily there. But so it was kind of cool that my dad actually could pick Al's tone out. Hear his tone and hear his sound and stuff. And so I was really proud of that. And it's been really cool and knowing all these. It's funny because I know all these guys and I've played with all these guys, but I've never I'm not a person that's like, hey man, can you help me, or you do this. I'm just kind of like, I guess.
Well, we talked about that last night, I believe it's a Texas thing. I just think it's the way that we were raised, and the bad part about that is, sometimes you need to shake your own bush. I am horrible about it. Like I told you, I feel bad at shows to even mention about the CDs because I know how hard it is to make money, and people have already spent money to get in, and the team yells at me, hey, you didn't mention that you're selling CDs outside, and I'm like, oh, they know, I'm selling CDs. I don't want to be a barker and all this stuff, but I said all that to say people like you and I, we have to get people to advocate for us because I'm a very gregarious type person, but at the same time, I'm a very inward person, especially when it comes to asking people for money and for help. And the way I was raised, no matter how bad it gets, you just pull up your bootlaces and you do it all yourself. But sometimes you need help.
Figure it out. Yeah, sometimes you need help, especially in this business. You need help, and that's. You always need help in that, and I think as I gotten older, I've learned that it's better to have a group of people to lift things with than just yourself trying to lift it up. And I think you have to have the right team and the right group of people with you, and that really
takes time too.
Takes time. Takes a lot of time.
Takes time to get that group together. That's what I'm talking about.
It sure does.
People that you trust.
Like you said, when you got the record deal and the agency, Rick and everybody fell together with you, and I didn't choose El Toro. Del Toro chose me. That's my family name. Del Toro's a family. Everybody always thinks that I'm, Del Toro. I made up some kind of name. It's not. It's that goes toward a lot of people's, not everybody, but a lot of people's ignorance toward the Latin families. They don't realize that a lot of almost all of them that I know have four names, and a lot of them to accommodate America have dropped the fourth name. They just use three, but most of them have, because when I'm in Spain, I meet people, their names are that way. When I'm in certain parts of Mexico, Argentina, not so much in Brazil, but a lot of the Latin countries I've been to, that is always the case. Yeah, it's funny. I've had other artists come up. I'm not going to call you Del Toro. I know where that comes from. I'm like, where does it come from? Oh, you made that up. I'm like, no, I didn't. That's my family's name. So and it's, I had it was funny because JP Source, and this was just a funny. He was on tour, and he was in. They were in Nashville, and they stopped off at him and his band stopped off at a Cracker Barrel. And on the wall is my uncle. His name is Tino Del Toro, singer-songwriter, and he's got his, guitar and stuff, and he's posing. And this was like from the 70s, so he had the big full hair, kind of long, and jewelry, and whole thing, and sunglasses, like dark glasses and whatnot, and looking cool as he could be, And so they took a picture and said, "Hey, is this guy related to you?" And I said, "In fact, that's my uncle." And they were just like, what? They thought I was just BS. So no, that's actually my uncle. So it's kind of cool. They were actually trying to play a joke with me.
and wind up bringing a picture of your family.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool. So I was like, yeah, that's him.
Right on. Here, I'm gonna play another video. Don't you got a few more minutes?
Oh man, I'm here.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play another.
As long as you want to hang out, I'll hang out with you.
Right on. That's dangerous. I told you sometimes this thing go crazy. Hey, y'all. My guest today is Jonn Del Toro Richardson. I'm gonna leave him on. I'm gonna put him backstage for just a second, and we're gonna play a quick video, and then we're gonna come back with more from Jonn Del Toro. Check it out. Let me see. Oh, here we go.
I don't want nobody in my house when you're home by yourself. I'm talking to the women folks. Nobody when you're home by yourself. Now listen. If the house is burning down, he better find you, burn up by your damn self. I don't want your mama in my house, 'cause your mama, she talk too damn much. Mama in my house, baby. Oh, she talk too damn much. Now listen, hey kid, I told you, if your mama wanna see a baby, tell your mama we'll see her Sunday at church.
Right on. Go back. That was an old school, man. That was like when I first met Randy and those guys back in the day, man. And that was a tribute. His mom. That was and I just forgot his name that fast. On guitar, not Kid, but
the other guy.
Yeah, God, my brain. But anyway, that was a tribute. His mother had just passed, and so we were doing the benefit for his mother. That was, man, that must have been back in 2012, 2013, back in the day.
Wow, back in.
Yeah. You know, I've been real lucky my journey through the blues to play with cats like you and Kid and Frank Goldwasser and Kirk Fletcher and, you know, so many others that are just unbelievable musicians. I've been really blessed. So that's been cool. So we talked about what got you inspired with blues, and I love that you bring such a multicultural approach to the blues, which, you know, because that reminds me of Taj Mahal. You know, when I first started listening to some of the Taj stuff, you know, I didn't know he was from the islands, but I could hear the islands in his music. Yeah. I mean, you could hear it. There was no.
It's there. Yeah,
it was there. And same with you. You know, I could hear the country. I could hear the Latin, and I love that. And for me, that's what the blues is all about. That's why blues sounds so differently from Mississippi to Georgia to Florida to California to Chicago, and that's what New York. You know, because they all the regions have their certain little sounds. In Texas. You know, I always tell people, I say, you're going to be a guitarist or a blues singer in Texas, you got to bring it, because Texas is like a country, and there's so many different styles in Texas, and it sounds totally different.
Everybody's different. And, you know, like you said it.
Right, Johnny Main. Sorry about that.
So that, you know, like the guys from Mississippi went up to Chicago. And that's what they took that sound up there. And then everything from pretty much the Sabine over.
Yeah,
you know, well, almost Louisiana, it came into Texas as well. So Louisiana and Texas kind of like shared stuff, you know.
Well, especially like where I'm at. Like I said, I'm literally 45 minutes from Bossier City, an hour from Shreveport. You know, in Tyler. I mean, I'm right there, right on the border.
You know, you had Gatemouth Brown was born in Louisiana, but he moved over to Texas, and that's where he called home, and that's what that was where home was. You know, so he was considered himself a Texan and a Louisianan. You know,
have you ever gone back and look at some of the you know, because he did some things. You talking about the era that he grew up in? You know, I think he was the first black man to have a nationally televised show, variety and all that stuff. You know, that was the first time I saw Freddie King. Even though I was young.
Up in Dallas.
I was young, but those guys used to come play West Dallas, Oak Cliff all the time.
Used to watch that. I like to go on and watch those videos all the time now. You know, Eric, the saxophone player that was playing with me in that Tango Blues album, the instrumental, the first video you shared, he was Gatemouth's sax player.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he played sax for Gate.
Eric Dimmer, right?
Eric Dimmer, yeah. Eric he's a man. You'll never find anybody better than that on sax. You know, I'm pretty biased, but the guy can blow. I mean, the guy just lays it out there all the time, and it's just a pleasure to get to play with him and have him come play. And we're buddies, and we hang out together, and so it's one of those guys. Because I'm kind of like a recluse, man. I kind of hide out.
I'm bad with that too, man. And
I don't reach. I
need to start going out to the jams and stuff more. I am bad with that.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, I really enjoyed last night just hanging out and talking with you, because, man, I really don't talk to people. You know, outside of my family. I'm not a guy that I'll call a couple of guys here and there that I have friends with. And I shouldn't say I'm a recluse, but I'm kind of.
No, I understand. You're kind of introverted on it.
Yeah. When I'm with people that I like, I'll talk. You know, it's not a.
my wife is the exact same way, and I always tell people in our conversation, I'm more the woman. And somebody say, "What do you mean?" I say, "Well, I'm the one that always got his mouth. I'm always the blah 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 blah." And they like people look at me like, "Is your wife mad?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, she's not saying. I'm like, "No, she's not mad." I said, "My wife is one of those type of people. She don't have anything to say until she has something to say. She's not one of those. She's not a gabber." You know, whenever she's saying something, it's something important. She's not just loose with words like me. You know, I'm just blah 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 blah. You know, but she might. You know, when we driving these long drives, I yell at her like, talk to me, keep me awake. So she ain't gonna say that. She's the perfect road. For most guys, she'd be the perfect road person to travel with. Because she ain't saying nothing. She's just like, yeah. And like, I'm talking about the bugs on the windshield. Like, did you see the shape of that cactus? And blah, blah. I'm all over the place, That's pretty cool.
You and Diana would do well in the van together.
Believe me, me and Diana, we done shared a lot of dirt together. So that's my girl. I love Diana. I have to tell you about the show we did in the North Pole with me, Diana, Rick Estrin, Jonn Del Toro, John JT Lawson. We were in the North Pole up at Small Bar doing the Dark Season Blues Festival, and Diana was playing this little bit of church. I swear the church couldn't have been more than like 30 by 30, like a little box. And
I know we did it. We did it a couple years. I don't know if I was there with her on that one.
Were you there when I was there?
I don't remember. I don't remember who all was there.
Why Diana was playing, two polar bears. Now, the Rangers was watching them, but two polar bears came up. They looking in through the window. Everybody in the church was shifted to one side of this box, and Diana just blowing. She did a whole show. Didn't even realize that there was two polar bears in the window.
I think we were there for that. I think we were there. It was me and Josh Pressler, and I think at the time we had. I think that's whenever. Popcorn was with us on that.
Right. I wound up using Popcorn on a Canadian run. We had a couple weeks in Canada, and I had a situation with my drummer, and I used Popcorn. And then it was 2 weeks after that, he lost his leg and all that good stuff. And that's sad. I originally met Popcorn years, like 2011, 2010, playing there used to be a festival in not Joplin, but Springfield, Missouri, the Ozark Blues Festival. And that particular week, I was still with Aunt Kizzy's boys. It was me, Little Ed of Blues and Imperials, Michael Burks, and a very, very, very young Joe Bonamassa. And that's where I met Popcorn. Originally, when I met him, he was with Michael Burks.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was with Burks for a long time.
Back in the day, man. Matter of fact, I haven't heard from Popcorn. Matter of fact, when I get off with you, I think I'm gonna call him up, make sure you're doing okay.
Doing okay.
I haven't talked to him since before the pandemic.
Yeah, me either. I talked to him after he had that, because the foot injury was right before the pandemic started.
Right.
Whenever he lost his foot, and that was the last time I spoke to him. So
well, he had diabetes, and when I matter of fact, it was so funny because it was one of the first blues cruises I did, and he came up and he was talking to me, and you could tell by the look on my face that I had no idea who the hell he was because he had lost like 119 pounds. I didn't know who he was. He's like, Sugar, it's me, Popcorn. I'm like, Popcorn? We had talked for about 15 minutes. I think he finally realized, like, he have no idea who I am.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight, and that was whenever he was working with Diana. So he worked with Diana for a period, and so that's.
Oh, okay.
Then he, being up in Dallas and her here with local stuff, it was kind of getting hard for her, and I think that's when she, and I think I don't remember what happened, all that, because that was a period that I'd left. I wasn't in the band anymore, so that's when I started doing my own stuff.
Well, we're running a little long. It's 2:33. I want to play one more video by you.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. Check this out, y'all. Eric Sassman, can you do me a favor? Can you put that post up with his Facebook and his website stuff back up again. Let me get that back up there. Thank you, sir. Random YouTube watcher, I don't even remember. I have to go back after the show and look them up. Here's the Spotify stuff, everybody. And then thank you, Eric. That bass player playing a 5-string?
I don't know what he's playing on that one. Not his 5-string.
You got a good tenor voice, man. I like that.
Thanks.
I can hear that. I can hear that country in there. I love it, though. It's just enough.
Yeah.
Rumble, young man, rumble. Now, see, that reminds me of church.
Yeah.
Right on. Get me back to Texas just as fast as you can.
That all came up because of Jimmy Vaughn, man. Remember the Blues Music Awards that was done in Tunica? We did it in Tunica, Mississippi.
I remember it, but I wasn't there.
Okay. So that was it got out of hand and everything got real late. You know, everything was going really late. And Jimmy came off the stage and he was rolling his amp off the stage and I said, "Hey, Jimmy, where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going back to Texas fast as I can." There's a song in there right there.
Write that down. Yeah,
I'm gonna go do that one. So.
Well, I've only got to play with I've been on a bill with him a couple of times, but I got to play with him. We did a thing called the Texas Road Blues up in Rhode Island with me, him, Al McKay, Duke Robillard, Jimmy Vaughn. That's a great album. I got to do like 3 or 4 songs on that album, and I was blown away, man. You know, him and Anson Funderburg. You know, I always get Anson and Paul Sides. I've had both of them on the stage together at the same time somewhere in Belgium, and you know, and Gene Taylor, because I love Gene. Even though Gene screwed me over one time, we were in Belgium at this library gig. It's me, it's Kirk Fletcher, it's Gene Taylor, it's Paul Sides, it's all these guys, and we were all on tour. And somehow or another, the promoters brought us all together to this place in Belgium for this benefit for Nick when he had passed. You know, we were trying to raise money, and Gene slipped me some hash cookies, and I don't do drugs,
Yeah.
so I just thought they were regular cookies. He didn't tell me they were hash cookies,
About an
and
hour
of course,
later.
what even an hour? I'm a big dude, but I don't do drugs, so it's like I'm on stage. I'm about 10 minutes into the show. All of a sudden, I'm trying to figure out if I'm having a stroke or a heart attack because I don't know what's going on. I'm just like, what is, I have no frame of reference, and there's this. I'm doing a slow blues song. It lasted 21 minutes, and the guys kept playing, and someone had the nerve, the audacity, the fortuitous, or the strength to sit there with their cell phone and they recorded the entire damn thing. I've tried to get that video deleted all for like the last 10 years. I'm like, I'm in this wrinkled ass orange. It just looks bad. Thank God I sang on key. In my mind, we were 5 minutes. It's later I went back and looked at the video. I'm like, slow blues, 21 minutes, and no one said anything. It's like, what the heck, like, oh my God,
Well, God rest his soul, man.
Yeah,
God
that's sad the way he passed away when I found out about that.
That's about a year ago, as it is today.
Yeah. Last winter.
Yeah, well, yeah, because actually yesterday was when we got that big freeze down here in Texas, and that's when everything started up. So
yeah, and he passed away, I think, a couple of days after the freeze or something. I think he froze to death in his house, basically. Yeah. Gene was a character, man. They ever tell you the story? Him and Jimmy Bott, those guys, they real close, and I worked with Jimmy for years, and so they were telling me a story one time. They were all with the Fabulous Thunderbirds. They was playing somewhere, and Gene had to pee real bad. Then they was in the middle of the gig, so I guess he got up and walked to the side of the stage in front of all these 1,000 people and pissed in some plant or something. He pissed in. And then walked back to the piano and kept playing, man. I'm just like, dude, they don't make people like that no more, man.
I got a similar story, but I'm not going to share it. It's about a drummer. Well, I'll share it. I won't say no names, man. But we were in Italy playing, and all of a sudden the kick drum went out. And I was like, I turned around. I said, "What's going on, man? You all right?" I gotta go to the bathroom.
Someone asked me that one time. I played sick. I played. There's a lot of videos out there. Literally, I'm a day after knee surgery and I'm doing the show. I've been very lucky. I think because my adrenaline and my fear is so high that I don't have to pee or poop when I'm on stage. Even if I had to pee before I walked on stage, the feeling is gone once I walk on the stage.
Once you're on stage, exactly. Everything goes.
Everything goes, which is weird. But
I can't explain. You can't explain to anybody.
Literally, there's a video out there. There's a couple of videos out there where I went on tour the day after I had knee surgery. And the first day, I think I sat down. The second day, I'm standing up, walking around, hobbling, trying to dance like I do. Pam saw the video and called me on the phone like, if you don't sit your black such and such down somewhere, I like, okay.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? But I tell people, it's like, I've got this neck and back thing going on, and I can sit there and play and I'll be fine. And as soon as I put the guitar down for the end of the night, my whole body just goes.
Oh yeah, brother.
And it's just like I'm in pain, So it's like
I believe in a leave because I can tell you.
Oh yeah.
Because after the show, man, I'm dropping it like it's hot. I'm just having a good time. But believe me,
I'm taking I take 1,000 milligrams and I'm okay. Of a lever.
Yeah, I take two 500 milligram tablets. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And because otherwise, and it keeps the inflammation down and blah blah blah. They were talking about Prince. He was using that. What's that one? That's how he wound up dying, and people were shocked that he was used because he was always such a holistic person. But people were shocked that he was using this painkiller, and I was just like, people just have no idea, do they? They have no idea. They have no idea the kind of pain that sometimes you're in.
Yeah.
And you're on tour, and you got few hours to sleep, and you have to go and do it again. And sometimes I get back to my hotel room, man, I can barely move.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember one time my lower back gave out on me, and I was literally crawling out of the van on fours, and I just need to go lay down. And they're looking around. How's he gonna play? Blah, blah, blah. Man, as soon as time to play, there I was standing up, and it started like you said. I started out on a stool, and before you know it, I'm up. As soon as I started moving and playing and dancing, I was like, I was okay, and it
Yeah,
felt all right, and I was
yeah.
all right. And honestly, that actually helped me get that back loosened up on that one. But it was, sometimes you're riding around in a vehicle for hours on end every day. You're always sitting in a sitting position, and I'm used to being out on a bike, or riding my bike or walking or doing whatever. And if you can't do that, your body gets locked up. So
Well, that was me during the pandemic. I can't believe how much weight I had gained. I'm already a big dude. I don't need to gain any weight. So, luckily the dogs make me get out. So we get out and walk like a mile and a half.
mhm.
I ain't pushing it hard, but just get my butt out and moving.
Yeah,
I feel a lot better. I've dropped some weight, and I
yeah,
try to watch what I'm eating and whatnot. But uh, Nicole said that's tough, guys. Well, that's just the business, Nicole.
part of it, part of it.
Once you're not 25, 30 years old anymore, believe me, being on the road, this is why Clapton and a few other guys said that they wasn't going on the road anymore. And those guys are living the good life. They're in
Yeah,
a $2 million Prevost bus and, 4-star, 5-star hotels. We talking about sleeping in a Super 8 motel where the mattress ain't been changed in 20 years after 15 hours of driving, lugging your
yeah,
own gear, helping the other guys lug their gear, and then getting up, putting on a hell of a show. And in my case, there were times where I was doing that 14, 15 days
yeah,
in a row before you had a
yeah,
break.
yeah.
It's
It's
hell.
wearing.
I took Eric Sassman, who was in backstage right now, my producer. I took him my first show during the pandemic. We went up to Pittsburgh, outdoor show to replace Shamika Copeland. Shamika couldn't do it, so we went up to it. I didn't take the whole band. I just took the 5-piece. I flew 3 of the guys in, and then Drake, Eric, and I took my RV, and we were in my RV, which is very comfortable. But even then, Eric was like, "Man."
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, yeah, imagine if you had to be in this bad boy for another 30 days and we're going to hit 15 states and do 18 shows during that time. It's like,
yeah.
that was one show.
Everybody, everybody's like, "Oh man, you're living a life. You're doing this." I'm like, "Yeah, come on with me. Come on with me." It's like,
People always ask that though. Like, can I get in your suitcase? And I'm
yeah,
sitting there and I would tell them, yeah, but then in my head, I'm like, you don't need to be in the suitcase. Just get in the van and help us load some of this stuff
yeah,
in and
yeah.
out. We'll see how long you last. It'll
You
be
can
2
carry
shows
the
in.
suitcase.
Can you fly me home? Hey, man, go ahead.
I used to have this saying: if you can't hack it, don't pack it.
They can't hack it, don't pack it.
Pack it, man. So and that's where I left it. I was like, I ain't gonna carry your stuff. I got enough to deal with my stuff. So you can't
Yeah,
hack it,
baby.
don't pack it. So
Yeah, baby. You learn. That's why I started traveling with dry fit. People don't. I always like to wear.
yeah,
I like to wear suits, and I have a lot of suits. And it's like with the record company now, they want me to put my suits back on and dress all fly. And I told them, I said, "Man, you don't get it, do you?" He's like, "What do you mean? I'm 6'5". I'm 300 pounds.
yeah.
It's an $800 suit. When I'm playing, we 3 songs in, I'm sweating like a runaway
Sweating it
slave.
out.
I mean, you could literally wring the water off of me. I said, and I got 15 shows over the next 20 some odd days. That suit is not going to a dry cleaners. I don't have time to go to a dry cleaners.
Oh.
So usually that $600-700 suit, I got to wear it once, twice. It's ruined.
Yep.
Literally, I can't tell you how many times I've left
Yep.
suits around the country and around the world where I open up you open up your bag and you can smell the mildew from across the room. Like, okay, well, this is done. And once they get that mildew in there, I don't care how much you wash it, it'll
Can't
never
get it
come out.
out.
As soon as you
Can't
start
get it
getting
out.
hot again, that
It
smell
comes
comes
up.
out. And
Thumbs up.
so that's when I went back to wearing jeans and a vest with a nice dry fit shirt underneath and dry fit underwear that you can wash in the sink and it dries in 5 minutes. It's all for a reason.
Yep. I can tour Europe for a couple of months in just a little duffel bag.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
everybody always laugh. They're always like, "Well, how can you do that?" I'm like, "I figured it out."
You figure it out.
I wash
You
it in
figure it
the
out.
sink, and
Yep.
I can't tell you how many. Same thing as yours. I would I sweat like it. I mean,
I know. I've seen you sweat. You sweat just like me. I mean, I've ruined shoes. I was at Geldorf.
Yeah.
I had a pair of $300 leather shoes on, and I sweated so bad that the shoes were ruined. To get the salt sweat, it ran down into the shoes. I had to just throw them out. You couldn't even do anything with them.
We were in Europe, and I was sweating so bad. My boots, the top of the where it comes up around your calf.
Yeah.
that got so wet every night, and it kept just doing this, and
Shrinking.
I shrunk, and I couldn't even put the damn boot on.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
had to go get a guy to put a zipper on it, and it figured out. So every boot I got my boot guy. He cuts them to where they come below my calf. So all
Yeah.
my
So the
boots are
sweat
like,
will, yes.
yeah. So I don't have to worry about that no more.
Well,
So I mean,
the same thing happened to me with hats because I love hats, and I
yeah.
can't tell you how many.
Not me, man. I don't like no hat.
No, well, you got nice hair. I just got the dome, baby. I ain't had hair since '93. I think in '92 or something. I tried to let it grow back. I look like the black Mikhail Gorbachev. It's just in patches. I'm like, now I got that Uncle Phil thing going. But I'm like, no. We just shave it all off, bro. I see LeBron James trying to hold on the heels, and I'm like, oh, just go ahead and shave it, bro. It ain't coming back.
Take it off.
Take it off. Makes it easy. I just get up in the morning and slap it with a towel and keep on rolling, baby. That's it. That's it. Hey, listen. Today my guest has been Jonn Del Toro Richardson. Del Toro Richardson here on the Suga Shack. Jonn, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to holler at us, and hopefully we introduced you to a lot of people around the country and the world. As you saw, there was people from all over the world that was clicking in. This will be living on Facebook probably the next day or so. Eric will have it up on YouTube, and it'll be on YouTube forever as archived, and we can all and sit again. In last words before we go,
man. If anybody out there wants to help, give me a call. No, just trying to find management and agencies again. I kind of backed myself off of everything. I haven't even messed with my website or anything, and I need to get in there and get a little better with that, and I'm just booking gigs and doing stuff around here and having fun with that. And I got tons of stuff I've written that just that I need to go in and record, and I've talking to some people about that already. So, but
right on.
Yeah, I just ready to get back out there. And I know I need to get. I know I need to get myself up and running again. And but I've been enjoying this. I got to be honest, man. Being able to sleep in has been. And not have to worry about. I've been so creative because I've not had to go play every night that I can sit down and I can actually play stuff in my head. I'm hearing different melodies and different voicings and everything. And I got to say that was probably one of as I know COVID was horrible for everybody. I caught it early on.
Oh, did you really?
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you're all right, brother.
Well, I'm still suffering from a lot of the. There's a lot of after effects. I didn't really realize what was going on, but it's I'm feeling it. But hopefully,
that's what I tell people. A lot of people survive.
It's not
a lot of people survive, but it's the after effects that people don't realize. That I know some people. Like I said, one of my buddies caught it, and what it did to him was it attacked his nervous system, and he was paralyzed, like he couldn't walk. 6 months he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it caught my lower legs from my knees down. After I got out of COVID, I started having like these horrible tingling feelings. And I told my doctor, and she said, "Okay, take this." And so I started taking it, which was P5P. It's a B vitamin, and it's a complex of it. So I started taking that, and as soon as I started taking it, all that pain went away. All the burning and all those sensations went away. And then I'd lost. Believe it or not, I lost a lot of hair through COVID.
I had heard that too. I had heard that.
My hair was falling out in clumps. I mean, I had lost a lot of hair, and it's all grown back now, thankfully. But it's like she said, she goes, "Well, your body was stressed. Your body's stressed, and that's what happens." And so that's what happened with me. And then I kept having COVID crashes for a long time, where I would just be in the middle of something, and I was like, I just got to go lay down and go to sleep, and that was it. I would sleep, and so they're starting to find. I guess I was a long hauler, is what they told me. So they're finding out with long haulers they have all kind of
after effects.
After effects, yeah. So but I feel fine. I still get up on my when I can. I get up and go ride.
I have another friend of mine that is a doctor, and he got it, and it attacked the inside of his lungs. And between you and I, and I'm not gonna say his name. People know his wife and everything. She's pretty well known. He just walking around his living room, and he's only like 40 something, maybe 50, in really good shape. Really good shape. This guy gets a hikes, bikes. Just walk around his living room, he's out of breath. and
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
probably going to be that way for him forever.
Well, the weird. I was so thankful my doctor told me this, and she told me to get colloidal silver and put it in my nebulizer and breathe it in. Do it 3 times a day, and I did. And I didn't realize I was having chest problems, like breathing. And man, I started coughing up stuff. And it's as disgusting as it sounds. I coughed up a plug of mucus about the size of a toad frog. Oh, this was before vaccinations, Nicole. I got it in 2020, back in June of 2020.
Oh, really? Early on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I caught it in the early stages, and so I coughed up this plug, literally that big, and I went and spat it out. And the very next day, that's when I started feeling better.
Wow.
That's whenever because I slept for a whole month, pretty much. I was in bed. I think I was awake maybe 5 hours a day, and the rest of it was spent sleeping. I slept
Wow.
that much,
Wow.
and I lost 20 pounds, and I lost another 20 pounds just from trying to stay active and working out and stuff. But yeah, it hit me, and so I tell people, it's not what it feels like. Yeah, it feels like a flu,
Yeah,
but
but it's
it's
what
what
it
it's
does
going to
to
do
you.
afterwards. But
That's what I keep trying to tell people. And I
yeah,
say, people are like, well, blah, blah, blah. I say, it's not even dying. I mean, no one wants to die. No one wants to be in ICU. But, for a long time, they were not publishing because they didn't really, it was so wide, they didn't really understand it. Now they've got an umbrella for it. There were so many people that lived through it, but then they were screwed or messed up
yeah,
for the rest of their days. And the other thing, living with a medical professional, like she said, what a lot of people don't realize is now you got an existing condition.
yeah, yeah.
Now you have an existing condition.
It attacks all your organs, and people
Yep.
don't really realize that. And that's what I was telling friends, because I live where I live, and everybody's politically charged about
Yeah, but I was on my
virus.
brothers. They both
Yeah,
live in right outside of Arlington and Tyler, and with black people, and
yeah,
at first,
yeah.
but black people wasn't even getting it.
I know.
And I remember I was doing the last show I was doing was up in Seattle, which was at that time was the Epic Center, and I was making fun. I said, "Oh, you white people," I said, "Black people ain't getting this." At that time, no one knew that it was like so big in the black community because a lot of black people just don't go to the doctors because they have
Yeah,
racial fears of the doctors, and
yeah.
but when black people started going, people realized like, man, this thing is bad. This is really, really, and it's still bad. I have a show coming up March the 4th. My first club appearance. We're doing a CD release party in LA, and ticket sales have been low, and everybody's kind of pushing about it. And I said, well, man, March the 4th is kind of early to do a show. I got a full tour coming up in May, so hopefully things will be really slacked out by then. I say, but I think people will come out. I just think that there's a lot going on, especially you're talking about LA. These people are coaching consciously woke, as they say, and they know what's going on. And I think that people are just afraid to pre-buy tickets because it's been so many times they pre-bought tickets and then shows are canceled, and then they have to go through all the rigmarole. And I know some festivals that never refunded people's money. They just kept moving the show back and back and back and back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Which, in this day and age when no one was working, you pay $50, $75 for a show, you need that money.
Yeah. I mean, it's really crazy because like when Texas first opened up over here, and we were allowed to go back and play, and that's when I caught the virus. They opened up. We were shut down from March till I think it was like end of April. And then they opened up May, June, and so we played Father's Day weekend of June. So I think it was like June 20th or something like that. And man, I caught it. The whole band caught it. And everybody was like, "We got to play. I'm like, and in my gut was saying, cancel the show. Cancel the show. Just don't do it. But everybody.
But the pressure with the band and everything.
Yeah, it's like I feel responsible that they got to get paid and make money for them, and so okay, let's go do it. And we went and did it, and next thing you know, we're all struck with the virus, and it turned out like, and it wasn't even a full capacity crowd, because at that point you weren't allowed to have, but I think 20%, I think at the time, of your capacity, So everybody was spaced out, but it only takes one person.
Yeah. And
And
was this an enclosed gig?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
So just like all you guys got sick, who knows how many people from that particular show
Yeah.
got
Well, it was
sick?
weird because I was wearing well, I'll tell you how many got sick. There was 10 people that came out of that club that got sick,
Mm.
and out of that one performance. So I felt kind of like after that, I was like, I'm not going to do this. We're not playing. I'm just not playing. And fortunately for me, I got to play. My neighbors were really cool, and I was setting up in a park down the street from my house, and playing. Me and Eric would play, and then Tanya joined me on bass. She joined us later on, and we were playing every Sunday, for an hour and a half
Hmm.
to the neighbors. And so my neighbor, his house was right here, and across the street is the park. So every Sunday, man, that park would be loaded with people because they just wanted to get out and just get out and do
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
And so they would just tip us, on Venmo or Face or whatever,
Yeah. I know what you're talking
Venmo and
about. PayPal, all
PayPal
that
and all
stuff.
that stuff. And then we also had a bucket out there, for the bucket. Man,
Hmm.
we would. They were very good to us,
Yeah,
and
because the people have been cooped up. They want to hear music, and I know that's the thing. I know that the
yeah,
show's gonna be great.
yeah.
Uh, but and these last things I'm gonna go because we're literally 2 hours into this
I
thing.
told you, man. You think
No,
you
I
can
told
talk?
you. I told
You
you. I
think
said,
you
hey
can
man,
talk?
it goes sometimes. Um, for me, like I told you last night, I was when all this finally happened, I was already mentally, physically burnt.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
I had been what's so funny is I had already told the band before the COVID hit and before my wife found out about the cancer. I had already told the band that I'm taking 3 months off. I said
yeah,
because I need it mentally. I need it. And then I told you last night, my wife had made me realize that in 18 years I hadn't taken any time off. In 18
yeah,
years I just been touring
yeah,
8-9 months out of the year, just pushing, and now at one point, I was doing 180 shows a year around the world. And I was like, but that's the game.
that's what you
And I
do.
always people always like, we get worried about. I say, listen, this business is hot right now. It's been hot for me for the last few years. It will naturally slow down, and I'll be sitting
Feast,
somewhere wishing to have a gig. So for now, you make hay.
feast or
Having
famine.
said that, I was mentally burnt. And what you were
Yeah,
saying earlier, the COVID, this sounds so weird to say this, but the COVID wound
yeah,
up being actually a semi blessing for me because I needed the time off. Then my wife came down with a very rare form of cancer, and I needed to be here. There was no way
yeah,
I could be somewhere doing a concert, and she's in a hospital getting stem cells and chemo and radiation, and there was just no way. I'm a pretty focused person, but there's no way that I could have done that. So it,
yeah,
it was a little bit of a blessing for me. I'm ready to go back, but we played maybe 7 shows in the last 2 years. They've all been outdoors except for the Blues Bender. Uh,
yeah,
and even that one, I was within 48 hours of me canceling it, and then I found out that Las Vegas was taking this serious, and
yeah,
you had to have the vax card, you had to you had to wear a mask inside, and they were enforcing it, and that
yeah.
was cool. That convinced me to go ahead and do the Blues Bender, and but
Not here in Texas, man.
yeah, I know, man, and I'm from Texas, but one good thing that come out of that is Texas Children's Hospital developed that
yeah,
vaccine that they're pretty much giving away to the poor country for free, no
yep,
patent on it, and they did it with vegetables with no animals, and it's done the
yep.
old way. So even the poorest countries can manufacture large doses of
Respectful.
this.
Yep,
That is really cool, and I want to make sure that I say that out loud. Thank you, Texas Children's Hospital, for doing that, because
yeah,
a lot of these poor countries can't afford it. And what people
no,
don't realize is, I said all the time, this is one world, one sun, one people. And so you rich countries, yes, everyone might be vaccinated, but the variants are going to keep coming out of these poor countries
poor
unless we get
countries.
them
Yeah, them
vaccinated.
vaccinated. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
And that's
so
why we got to take care of each other. And that's the only reason we're here. And I always say that, and I can't stress it enough. We're only here for one reason, and that's to be with each other and be kind to each other, take care of each other. We're like it says in the Bible, we are our brother's keepers.
yeah.
When I was younger, I didn't understand that really. I really didn't understand it. I mean,
Hmm.
we always took care of each other, but as I got older and older, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm supposed to take care of this guy. And it's not that we're trying to be socialists. We're just
No.
trying to care for people. We're just trying to make sure that everybody has the same opportunities that want them, and that's what we're here for, just to share. We all want basic things. We all want that. Everybody wants to be loved.
Hmm.
They want to feel what love feels like, and love is a
Somewhere,
wonderful
somewhere
thing.
to lay your head, clean water,
Lay your hair, clear water, and
and be
food,
loved.
and,
Yeah, that's it.
and that's it, and that's all we want. And I don't care what part of the country you go to, and I don't care how much money you have. If you don't have that, you ain't gonna be happy.
Exactly.
If you ain't loved and you ain't got food and you got no place to stay, you ain't gonna be happy.
It's part of my core values. I tell that to
So
at the end of every show, I tell people, for God's sakes, please be good to one another and to yourself. And
yeah,
you'll see the music that I've written is always in there. It's always been about my fellow man. And I always tell people,
and
I say I
that's
was
it.
very
Yeah,
blessed that I love everybody. I mean, I grew up in East Texas where there was no white people, a few Spanish people when I grew up. It
yeah,
wasn't until I joined the Marine Corps that I even got to start actually hanging out with white people and people of other ethnicities. And you realize
yeah.
really fast. I mean, I don't care the dumbest person. You realize really fast that, oh, you may be a different color, but we all the same species.
We're
We're
all the
all the.
same. We're all,
It's kind of like Neil deGrasse Tyson said a long time ago. If aliens were to coming over to take over this world, and they said kill all the humans, they didn't say kill the
kill
white
all the
humans, the
white
black
humans or the
humans, the
black
Spanish
humans.
humans. They
Yeah,
said we're gonna kill all the humans.
humans. It's funny you say. It's funny you say because had gone to court. I had to go to where they call you in to go be on jury or whatever.
Yeah,
Jury
jury
something.
duty.
Jury something.
Yeah.
Jury. So it comes to the part of race, and my smart ass, I put human. Turn it in. They just
It's only an artist would do. But go ahead, yeah.
they said you can go.
Oh, they sent you home.
They sent me home. They said you can go. So now I know how to get out of jury duty.
I got to use that now. I'm gonna be using that, and that's it. I like that, man. I like that. All right, y'all, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Thank y'all for sticking around. My guest is Mr. Jonn Del Toro Richardson. We've had up all this stuff. You can check him out. Please do. Hopefully, John, we introduced you to some new people that didn't know who you were, and I think we did. And we had about 15 different countries jiving in, so that was really cool. So
Cool.
again, brother, thank you for taking the time.
You.
Thank you for sharing the stories. Thank you for
Oh
playing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That was really cool.
Anytime I enjoy hanging out with you, man. Hey,
Thank you, brother.
Go to Jonn Del Toro News on Facebook, and John is with 2 N's, no H. It always messes everybody up, but just like me
Jonn
there.
Del Toro News on Facebook.
John, yeah, and you can because I think you get so many friends that you can have on your account. But
Well, that's why we started.
Yeah.
We started an artist page, because the artist page.
Yeah, the artist page. Yeah, I got that art. That's my artist.
It's unlimited because you can only do 5,000 people on the.
Yeah.
And I had been at that number for a long time, and now with the artist page, I mean, I think I'm closing in on 16,000, and I try to get people to come over there, and then the important stuff now we put on the artist page, and not just the
right.
Just so that everyone can see it, because otherwise, it's only a limited audience they get to see anyway. That's neither here nor there.
If you come to my Facebook page, you're just going to see me and my nephew hanging out playing and making paper boats and paper airplanes and floating them and flying them. So
right on.
If you want to know the other stuff, it's on Jonn Del Toro News. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, John. Thank you, brother.
Man. Thank you. It's great hanging out with you guys.
Don't hang up yet. I'm gonna put you backstage, and I'm gonna come back and talk to you.
Okay, cool.
All right, everybody. That's Jonn Del Toro Richardson. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I'm gonna play this one last song, and then we are out of here. Big thank you again to Eric Sassaman, aka the Wizard of Oz. Big thank you to Stephanie Gonzalez, to Jesse Rossoff, to my man Scully over at ATC. Jesse Rossoff at the men, Eric Corn at 40 Below Records, and to the entire team. Patty DeVries, my publicist, and all that good stuff. I'm going to make sure I get everybody in there. I am nominated for 3 BMAs, Blues Music Award, BB King Entertainer, vocals, and my band is nominated this year for Band of the Year. Please, if you can, if you're a member, go over there and vote. If you're not a member, you can't vote, but it's very cheap. I think it's like $15 or $20 for a year to become a member, and you can vote, and you have a say in the direction of the blues. Here's one with me and Laura, and I love this one. And then after this, we're gonna go on home. Whoa. And as always, y'all, for God's sakes, please be good to one another and yourself. We'll holler.
I got a pretty little girl, baby, lives around the way. I got a pretty little